Hi all, and welcome back to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you all. I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with Aspergers syndrome and the like, along with tips and advice along the way, be it your general health versus your mental health. So if you're into any of these, do feel free to follow me on my social media sites on Facebook, AspieAnswers, or Twitter. All the links will be in the description, as well as if you want to be part of the YouTube fan bam and want to journey with me on what life is like with me regardless of what I bring out, do feel free to subscribe to my channel, as well as while you would make that decision today, if you have landed for whatever reason, maybe feel free to also turn on the notification bell so you can keep up to date with my whereabouts and my new stuff that I do on the daily or weekly. Right, let's begin this. As you know, basically, as being away out of action, I'm doing as many videos as I can before I hopefully come back to you, hopefully beginning of February, if all goes well to what I'm planning right now. But because at this point in time there has been some things I needed to clarify for myself or clear out my head for certain things. So this one's just another Autism series. Smash the like if you're liking these series, as well as also just giving me the heads up of maybe any other topics I have missed that is autistic related, health related, or whatever. I'll do my best to, share these with you and get back to you with it. So let's begin this. This one's autism and making lists. So the questions I'm going to throw at you today is: do you have trouble remembering what you need to do throughout your day, and then it sends you to a state of overdrive, in a meltdown phase, or a moment in that type of day, regardless what it may be of these days that you're having, regardless if it's a busy one, a quiet one, or whatever? Do you just tend to just ignore what needs to be done throughout the day and think that you'll be okay at remembering everything that's needed to be done in that time period, even if we have that time restriction? Do you get sick and tired of all the nagging that you get from others around you, be it your family, friends, co-workers, and the like? Well, I am here today with you to share some of things based on my experiences and hopefully my knowledge on making everyday lists that might make life easier for you. Let's just remember that with making lists though, however, that's not just autistics that will do this, however, it will be everybody and outside the spectrum as well that might likely do this. So, in the tendency of this, the question is, so why do we make lists for us autistics? Autistics, as we know, obviously have short-term memory, and I feel that most of us will tend to be wanting to be in a routine or schedule every day that we know that there will be times that is mandatory and essential on making these lists, so that we don't get too overwhelmed or obsessed into the one thing that needs to be done when there's plenty more to do in that day period. And saying this also, if you want to know more, I'll link up in the IBA about the information based on, schedules and routines, and that based on my life experiences in the top right hand corner if you want to see more about that. Also, I'll try and link it into the description for you also. This is necessity, however, the systems that is in place wherever I may be it at school, when I used to go to school, be it in a home, or wherever I may be, are basically mandatory, as I said, and they are like a safe haven for me, like a safety blanket, regardless what they are. There are steps and guides on how to do tasks to make day-to-day functionalities less anxiety provoking and promote a growing independence for everyone around you, as well as in the house or just people in general, or even wherever I may be. It doesn't have to be in the house. The idea of these lists though does go beyond the simple routines that I have on everyday things. As I said, they are safety nets and complexity while growing up. Starters, like some of the lists may have started of the how-to lists for me, like how to put on my clothes, how to do the washing, how to do the cleaning, how to do basically anything in general, when I was small, to teen to right now, so that we can get into function on how to do it. It is amazing reflecting on the amount that has been explored in the home, however, when I was growing up, through the tick list that I had, as well as the reward charts, and I'm sure that some of you may have had this as well when a child. Growing up from a child to an adult, however, these systems are also becoming more sophisticated. At the moment, I am in the process of trying to manage these difficult emotions in a way that it reduces the stress quickly for the person experiencing that emotion, regardless of what I go through in my everyday life of these and making these lists and stuff to make life easier for myself and the person at hand. So it's all about give and take for us to obviously go about this and saying this with the give and take. Hopefully we can educate and learn from each other. So if I have a sign of weakness, feel free to gentle nudge me in the right direction, here say. Whether a life skill has to be learned or comes naturally, however, it's a necessary element of preparing a child for independence and later adulthood once they come into their adulthood. Again, as I said before, applying tick lists to life tasks and emotion regulation works for myself and maybe for others around me, and gives us a structure to experience that. Without this such structure, however, can be highly toxifying, and this can be obviously the simplest yet most effective answer. But now please excuse me as I might go and write to do list sort of thing, or as you can see, my timetable schedule if need be, for whatever I do. So therefore on that to-do list I might have a diary beside me of the days and dates, times for my schedules and stuff, as I shared before just now about basically of it all. I have shared this on how to, time management. Again, I'll link that one up to share more that might help you guys. So sometimes I have to complete with the text boxes of this to-do list. In a culture with a surfeit of choices, lists can be a way to coalesce and conquer. A list helps you discern and progress with a clearer, lighter head. Scratching out to-dos can be a healthy self-protective action or a healthy defense obsession, whatever way you look at it. Everyone will look at it differently. Obsessional characters is not always pathological. Well channeled, it can lead to as well as peace of mind. Here are the 6 great benefits of the list. Lists can provide a positive psychological process whereby questions and confusions can be worked through. True purposes surface. Foster capacity to select and prioritize. This is useful for an information overload situation for many adults and children alike. Separate the manager from what matters most, which is good for identifying as well as achievement. Help determine the steps needed, that which resonates informs direction and planning. Combat avoidance. Taking abstract to concrete sets the stage for commitment and action, especially if you add self-imposed deadlines. Organize and contain a sense of inner chaos, which can make your load feel more manageable. Lists can create a sense of inner mastery, however, but you might feel guilty or as if you are wasting precious time of yours. However, if you take the time to make them, however, it warrant, believe you me, you'll feel more at ease. With so much more information that may be flooding at you or towards you, it's easy to be reactive rather than proactive. You may feel you can barely stop to breathe. It's great to respond to the flurry of queries in the moment, and you have no choice but to do so. Like with me, sometimes it's just like, what to do. So a list is a must-have beside me at all times. However, for the sake of self-knowledge, note, if you feel empowered by a hot tool or if you feel chaotic, basically scattered, unclear and out of control. If it's the latter, it may be worth an occasional timeout to list. You might be more efficient in the long run. A slow, insidious path to excess reactivity can exacerbate anxiety. A list can take you back to feeling proactive, grounded and calm and clear. And also in saying this, there are some apps available in making lists as well as, managing your time efficiently. If you want me to maybe do a quick video about what I use on my daily of apps and that, give me a comment below or smash the like. If I get it, please up to maybe 25 to 30 likes on that. Maybe I'll do it for you. Anyway, I decided one time when I was making a list to take a whole week off, or even just a few days off, just to organise my home and making lists so that I can have a truly happy time. Lists offer opportunities for creativity as well. That can incorporate colour and design into the outline, decreases the sense of drudgery. Research Ethel Pearson NB Feeling Strong shows that when we entwine pleasure, play with duty, work, we are much more productive, such as an ambiguous approach of obligation with a feeling of autonomy. Cognitive behavioural therapy, or CBT, however, purports that imagery is useful for people with generalised anxiety disorder. So making your list beautiful via spacing, formatting, graphics and font choice is an added way to quell out these agitations. And in order, streamlining to the essentials creates air and light in the mind, which also feeds creativity. Obsessional character isn't always pathological. While channeled, it can lead to success as well as solace. So I'm going to quickly give you guys tips from a friendly Aspie and making lists based on my life experiences, to do or not to do, the need to know basis. List making is a pretty personal thing for people. Some of us border on obsessive. Organising the bathroom can turn into a real nightmare, into a series of numbered bullet points. Others prefers to just wing it. Writing important telephone numbers on the backs of their hands is a clear example, but even the most basic outline of most just to-do tasks can help us tackle the most important goals. For one thing, writing out a bunch of to-dos forces us to set out the concrete goals that are important, such as maybe taking up the trash, which can be way more effective than just thinking about vague objectives cleaning cleaner. Plus, making a written list can help us remember important information, meaning that the trash won't sit waiting in the kitchen for weeks on end till it stinks. The problem is that even those who believe fervently in the power of to-do lists might not know how to make a successful one. Just to do it, your action plan. The right way to make a complete to-do list may be 1. Pin it. Pick a medium to where you can see it in clear obstructive view, be it in your bedroom wall, be it on the doors, wherever it may be. As we know, to-do list comes in all shapes and sizes, so it's all about what works for us as an individual. Some research suggests writing information by hand helps us remember it better, but if you last picked up a pen in 95, fear not, there's a huge range of digital apps, as I said, that can help create personal use to do these to-do lists. As well as saying this, for me, when I'm doing this, sometimes for my to-do list, I'll do it on a repetitive schedule, sometimes there's a little reminder, or what have you, as well as trusting my phone at all times. 2. Make multiples, as I just said. Create a few lists of stuff that needs to get done. One should be a master list with every item you'd like to accomplish in the long term. Clean out the closet, sign up a language class, etc., etc. It's a clear example. Another can be a weekly project list with everything that needs to take place in the next 7 days. Third should be a hit list, high impact tasks. With the task that needs to get done today, call Auntie Susan for her birthday, pick up the dry cleaning, finish that presentation for work. Every day, see which items from the master list and weekly project list should move to the hit list. 3. Keep it simple. There's nothing more intimidating than a mile-long to-do list, right? And realistically, it isn't possible to get that much stuff done in the 24 hours anyway, because Rome wasn't built in a day. One trick for keeping a hit list simple is to make a list of stuff you want to do today and slice it in half. There shouldn't be more than 10 items remaining. The rest can go on the weekly projects list or the master list if you've created these. 4. Meet the MITs. That's most important task. Start the list with at least 2 items that absolutely must get done today, so you don't end up vacuuming instead of finishing a project report that is due tomorrow, even if the rest of the day list stays untouched. Really meaningful stuff will then get finished. 5. Start easy. Even before those MITs, as I said before, stick to a few simple items on the list. Fold clothes, wash breakfast dishes and shower are all the cool examples to list here. Even crossing off silly stuff helps us start the day feeling super productive. 6. Break it down. Goals such as work on research paper are much too vague and intimidating, meaning we'll be too afraid to actually start tackling them. One way to reduce the fear factor in making goals seem more manageable is break them down into smaller tasks. Instead of working on the research paper, try something more specific, such as write first half of chapter 3 on Monday and write the second half of chapter 3 on Tuesday. 7. Stay specific. All the to-dos should have qualities, among others, in common. The physical actions, they can be finished in one sitting, and the tasks that only the to-do list writer can do. For general projects that require lots of time or other people's help, you can list specific steps and also delegate tasks on working towards your goal. Instead of saving the animals, try write a couplet for internship at World Wildlife Fund. 8. Include it all. For every task on your list, include as much information as possible so there's literally no excuse for not getting the job done. For example, if the task involves calling someone, include that person's phone number on the list so you won't later. 9. Time it. Now that you've made the list and checked it twice, go back and put a time estimate next to every item if need be. It might even help to turn the to-do list into a kind of schedule with specific times and places as shared. You can do the so in your diary that has this. For example, laundry 4 to 6 p.m. at Suds and Stuff, clean out the inbox 6 to 7 p.m. As Starbucks on 6, when it's time's up, it's up. There's no spending 6 hours at the laundromat. 10. Don't fall over stress. Every master list has a few tasks on it that we've been meaning to do for days, weeks on end. Maybe even years, but we haven't done so yet. But try to figure out why in order to learn what steps are necessary for actually completing that task for future reference. Not calling Uncle Patrick out of fear of getting stuck on the phone for the whole afternoon. Replace call Uncle Patrick with figure out a way off to get off the phone with Uncle Patrick. This way the big task will seem easier and eventually get done. 11. Make it public. Sometimes the best way to stay accountable is to have someone watching over us. Try sharing the to-do list as I said before, whether by posting it on the refrigerator or setting up a digital calendar that everyone on the work team can access. 12. Scheduling. One of the trickiest aspects of the to-do list is actually sitting down to make one. Pick a time that will suit you every day, whether it's the morning before everyone else wakes up, the hour right before going to bed, or lunchtime when you can organise all your tasks and determine what still needs to be accomplished. 13. Go in with the old. One way to boost the productivity is to remind ourselves how productive we were yesterday. So keep a written list of everything that you accomplished the day before, even the smallest stuff. 4. Start fresh. Make a new list every day so the same old items don't clog up the agenda. It's also a useful way to make sure we actually get something done every 24 hours and don't just spend time decorating the paper with fancy highlighters, however. 15. Be flexible. Pro tip, always leave about 15 minutes of the cushion time in between the items on the to-do list or calendar. In case something pops up, say the washing machine overflows, maybe there was an earthquake, and damage was done, or the computer crashed, whatever it may be. As we know, disaster strikes do occur. The most important thing is to remember to stop and breathe. You've probably accomplished at least one MIT. You'll get the rest under control sooner or later. Well, this quickly ends a quick video of autism and making lists. Smash the like, comment below. Feel free to follow me on my social media sites listed below. As I said before, I'm hoping to do this on the daily, Monday to Friday. If you feel to subscribe and you want to see more of these, feel free to do so, as well as being part of my YouTube family. And if you did decide, as I said before, turn on the notification bell so you can keep up to date regardless of what Aspie's up to, where she is in her journey or what have you. So no further ado, don't forget to share these around also, because as we know, someone out there might need a bit of assistance here and there, regardless if it's my autism and series, the general health versus mental health, or anything in general that will come into play. So thanks for your support, thanks for watching, do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.